Hello everyone, it's me Elta. I don't know what that burst was right there, but I thought it was fun. That's why I put it there. So, this is a new cosplay tutorial that I'm making. It's gonna be a two-part for my Fubuki Cosplay Kaini version from Kancolle. Alright, so in this video I'm gonna be showing you how to make only the gun, but here it's the cosplay all complete to see how it's gonna look like. The last not perfect, because it's not a professional photo, but in the cosplay video that I'm gonna have for the rest of the outfit, I'm gonna have a professional photo right there. So back to the gun, I'm going to tell you the materials that you're going to need. So I used foam poster board, air dry clay, hot glue gun, silver acrylic paint, and a softer cardboard for the little guns. For the shafts, I used an old brown belt just to tie it around my whole chest, I guess. I don't know how to call that. So when it comes to my reference photo, this is the photo that I used for all my reference. When I say you should consult the reference photo, this is the reference photo that I am referring to. So let's get started. First of all, I placed my hand on a piece of paper just to get the right size that the base of the gun needed to be, because it needed to get over my hand. It needed to be a little bigger. So this is the pattern that I came up with. It's a basic shape, and I know you can really read the numbers, but it's wide 18 centimeters wide for sure, and it's also 18 centimeters tall. It's a curved, I wouldn't call it a square because it's really curved. So then I just traced it onto my foam poster board and I just cut it out. Here you can see me cutting it out with an X-Acto blade. You should be really careful when you cut foam poster board because you could cut yourself by accident. And just so you know, I was being super careful and I was doing this super slowly. Of course, you can see that because the video is super sped up, but this was a really long video that I had to speed up a lot of times. And it still doesn't look super fast. I was just using my scissors for perfecting my cuts and everything and making sure it fits. And I'm calling it base 1. So then you should mark like a centimeter or two from the top of the base. And then this is not very confusing, but please pay attention. Place the pattern on top of your foam piece and with a pen or a pencil, draw the line again so it creates an indent on the foam poster board. This is the area that the two little rectangle pieces that you're gonna see right now are going to go. 5 centimeters tall and 2.5 centimeters wide. These are the measurements that I used, but depending on your base, this is how much you're supposed to make them. So this is how the little pieces look cut out, and this is where we're going to place them once we glue them in place. I glue everything in place with a hot glue gun. Make sure not to burn yourself, please. Next, I'm making the perimeter of the gun. So I made a really long paper and I just wrapped it around many times until I got the shape and the length that I really wanted to. So this is what I ended up with. It was about 70 centimeters long and 5.5 centimeters tall. So this was my measurement based on my base. And then, of course, I just turned to foam poster board and I was trying to cut it out. Oh my gosh, you can see my pajamas there. My little owl pajamas. God, I have to be more careful when taking pictures for videos. So this is how it looks like, all cut out and well. I perfected it a lot because it had a lot of imperfections. Making super straight lines is not my best thing to do because I really suck at it. And then with hot glue, of course, I glued it in place. Make sure you don't burn yourself again, and make sure to perfect it as much as possible because it's a really tedious job trying to get the poster board to behave as you want it around the corners. When you're done gluing it, I would suggest going back with the sanding paper or your scissors and just, perfecting everything around so it looks nice and the shape looks complete and not with a lot of budgies and hot glue everywhere, which happened to me and I was just trying to fix it. So this is the pattern that I used for the top of the gun, one of the top parts. As you can see, the centimeters right there. I hope you can read them. And this piece goes right here for the gun. This is the back of the gun, by the way, not the front. And this is where this piece is going to go. Check the reference to see what I mean. So after this piece was made and cut and glued, I made this piece to fit it, which is for the side. You need 2 of these pieces cut out on poster board. But if you want to know what I'm saying, it's 7 centimeters long and 8 centimeters wide. And the top is just 3 centimeters. It's not really long. See how this fits perfectly with the other piece all glued together? This is what you need it to be like. So these are the 2 pieces that I mentioned, all cut out and glued together. This is what this should make. you see the little rectangle in the middle? That's exactly what I made next, and I just glued it in place. This piece depends on how much of a space you leave between your pieces that you made before. And then I took a bigger piece, as you can tell, I don't know why it was so random, and I just glued it on there. You're like, oh my gosh, this looks horrible. And I'm like, oh, I know, but look at it now. I cut off the excess around, and this is what I ended up with. So I recommend you do the same, because it's really hard to measure, and you might make it smaller, and better make it bigger than smaller. So here you can see me making the gun dividers. This is a twin gun, but you need 3 dividers for the twin guns. So I made 3 of these pieces of the shape, and here you can see them glued in place. Of course, in the spaces between, we're gonna have the guns, but you're gonna be like, oh, there's 2 spaces, like left and right, that look really bad. That's why we put this piece on paper here. This is a really bad picture, actually, but in the next picture, you're going to see that it's not as confusing as you believe. I took a piece of paper and I just glued it there. This is literally glued when you see it like that. And you're like, this still looks bad. So what I did was just grab my X-Acto blade, and again, I trimmed off the excess. I did it a lot because I want pieces to fit perfectly and I didn't want to measure them. This is a really good idea for this gun. So here you can see my X-Acto blade, and just cut off the excess and it's gonna look great. And then there's still a little rectangular area that is open, and we don't want it to be open. So what I basically did was I took a little piece of poster board and I just glued it there, if you couldn't see. And then you can see the picture, the right of the gun is like perfectly glued together and sealed, and the left is still open. I repeated the process on the left side. So this piece that you see right here are for the triangles that it has on the side of your gun. You should see the reference to see what I mean. You glue these pieces together, and you see me pointing at a little triangle there. It's not very little, but this is what I made. You need 2 of the triangular pieces, 2 of the side 2 pieces, and 1 of the side 1 pieces that I showed before. And you need 2 of them because there's 2 little triangles. This is how the gun looks at this moment. I hope you can follow along, and I'm not saying stuff really fast. So what I'm doing right now is showing you the gun even more. I don't know why I decided to show you more of the gun, but I am showing you more of the gun. Come on, Elta. Be smart. Don't show them the gun all the time. Alright, if you can see, though, the gun still needs to be proportioned. It's not great. Oh, there we go, making the little guns now. Alright, so I'm making the gun canisters right now with a soft paper. This is the outside of a blue notebook, and I just rolled it up and make a little gun. The black part that you see right there is just some tape. These are the measurements that I used. I made a 3-inch gun that is 12.7 centimeters long. Too much Fubuki guns. I really wanted to make this a little more of a scale. I took more of the softer cardboard thing that's like surrounding the notebook and fitted it in the place that, we left for the gun indents. I just shaped it because it's super soft and put a little dot where I wanted to fit the gun. Of course, you make a hole where you want to put the gun, and you insert the gun into the little end that you made there. I don't know why I'm cutting the gun right now, but I am. Oh, no, I'm not cutting the gun. This is how I inserted it into the little piece. And then you take the piece that has your gun in there, you elevate your gun as much as you want, and you just glue your guns in place. And this is how it looks like. So the gun is pretty much, the base of the gun is pretty much done by now. But you also, oh, thank you, Elta, for this nice little trolling of the gun. And here what you can see is actually me covering the edges of it with air dry clay. I didn't film this process because it was super tedious. So I'm going to tell you exactly what to do. You take the edges of your gun that look really bad. As you can tell, some of the edges with hot glue look horrendous. And you cover them with air dry clay so it looks smoother. So this piece that you see right here are 3 random rectangles glued together just to form the handle that is you're gonna use to hold your gun, because you need to hold it somehow. Then you take this and you just put it up there. What you see here are little rectangles that I used to make the little holders on the back so that you can pass your belt through. Make the first loop, there's the loop, pass your belt through both loops before you seal your belt, because either put your belt there if it's already rounded and glue them in place, or, just pass it on later and just sew it back together. And of course, paint the entire thing silver, because guns are silver. So this is how these looked like with the belt in between. I got some paint on the belt, of course, because it's me. When it's all done, then I painted the base of the gun black, because I wanted it to be black, because I didn't want to ruin more of the silver paint. Also, I did not really like the touch feel of the silver paint, and I was gonna touch that thing there, so I used that. And that's how I made my gun. I hope you found this tutorial useful, and if you have any questions of how I made any of the steps, please leave them in the comments below. I will answer to each and every one of you. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I can't wait to show you how I made the rest of my outfit for this cosplay and also my professional photos. I love you all so much, and I thank you for watching this tutorial. And the little kitty that's peeking from there, that's actually intentional. I really like it. I put it in the Bismarck cosplay one, and I'm gonna put this one. Love you all. Bye!